So, Yewande, thanks so much for joining us to chat about your new book, Reclaiming.
Thank you.
Very
I don't know.
exciting.
I feel like anytime someone like introduces the book, I feel sick. Like I feel physically sick, and I think it's just like anxiety. I think because the book is out soon, I think the whole week I've just been feeling like so anxious, just because I know that like people are actually going to read it now, and it's like, oh, I don't know. I just feel so sick.
And this book sort of came off the back of an article that you wrote in 2021 about racial renaming. And so that became one of the essays or chapters in this book. And
Yeah.
you write beautifully about the meaning of Yewande and your mum kind of explaining that to you. So can you explain what your name means?
Yeah, so my name means mother returning or mother coming back. And it's basically the first daughter who is born into a family after a grandmother has died is called Yewande. So it basically is a reincarnation of reincarnation of a belief that the mother has returned through me. So basically my grandmother has returned through me, and that's what my name means.
And so the book moves on to discuss lots of different things. You've said that you found writing the chapter about colourism quite difficult. Why did you find that one a hard one?
I think I had so much to write. Obviously, being like a dark-skinned black woman, I had so much to write that I didn't know how to structure it. And when I did sit down to write, it was just angry. And the question I always asked myself when I was writing every chapter was, how do I want my audience to hear this? Like, what voice and what tone and things like that. And I remember reading it back, and it was just angry. It was just painful. There wasn't any kind of structure to it, and it was because I don't think I've healed from the effects of colorism, and it's something that I deal with every single day. So to be able to sit down and write a chapter that was structured correctly and that provided a good balance in conversation and education, and also still delivered in like a loving way, was very difficult for me. And that's why I started. It was the first chapter I actually wrote.
Was it?
Yeah.
So you like struggled first.
Yeah, I
tried
was
to
like,
get that out
let's
of the
get
way.
this. Yeah, because I already knew the chapters that were going in the book.
Yeah.
So it was all about writing it. And I said, gosh, let me start this first, because first I actually thought it would be my easiest chapter because I had so much to say.
Yeah.
But then when I sat down, I was like, no, this is going to be a hard one.
Yeah.
And yeah, it did take the longest to write. Yeah, definitely.
So how does colorism affect you on a day-to-day basis?
It affects me in work, it affects me in relationships, it affects me in every day of life, the way I'm seen by other people. I think being a dark-skinned black woman, there is this horrible stereotypes that we're angry. I think in general black women are seen as angry, but I think because lighter skin is more palatable to mainstream media, I think when you're darker, you're kind of pushed to the side, especially in my line of work where it's industry. It's all about how you look and how you present yourself. You're pushed to the side because you're not marketable to mainstream media. You're pushed to the side because you're not seen as attractive. You're pushed to the side because sometimes, you know, people have this horrendous idea that darker women are less attractive and seen as more masculine. And you're constantly living with that every day, even with dating. Like, other black men will tell you that, oh, I actually don't date darker skinned women, or I prefer lighter skinned women, and things like that. So every day you're faced with challenges just because you're darker skin, and you miss a lot of opportunities because of it as well. So
yeah. And you mentioned dating there. You write about dating in the book. Lots of people know you from a reality dating show.
Yeah.
How is dating for you right now?
Dating, it's a tricky one. Because I was kind of saying in the book that like I don't think I'm a good dater, or I even know how to date. And I think it's because I have all these like preconceptions of what a perfect date looks like, or what a perfect relationship looks like, or I have this like fairy tale idea, this Disney complex of what a real long lasting relationship looks like and what it mirrors. And learning to leave that behind and allow for spontaneity and organicness has been hard for me. But I guess admitting it is the first step in, maybe, I don't even want to say healing, but admit it is the first step of moving forward and learning. But yeah, I'm just a terrible dater, I think.
You also write that dating apps can be quite shit, coming back to the colourism
Yeah.
thing. So explain what you experience when you are on dating apps.
The trauma of it all. I guess it depends what type of dating app, because I'm on an exclusive one that I should probably cancel my membership to. But like, even the men on there are all kind of white, and there's only a few black men, and the few black men that are there, although they haven't kind of said it to my face, I just feel like, or maybe it's me just internalizing a lot of things, I just think I'm not their type. And also the messages that I get are always very sexual. It's never like a, hey, how are you, how was your day? I think they're always kind of sexual, but I think that happens to a lot of black women because we're sexualized a lot. So yeah, dating apps for me personally, they just don't work.
What would be your ideal way to meet someone?
Before I went on a show, I would have said a bar, or just at a party, or at like some friends like gathering or something. But now I just feel so anxious all the time because I just don't know who's genuine or who actually likes me, or because they see me on TV, or I don't know. So I think I'm an overthinker as well. So I overthink everything, and then it just never works out.
I feel like there must be a million perfect people for you.
I hope so.
There must be.
Well, where are they?
You are now, of course, a writer, but you're also a social media influencer.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that as a job? Do you enjoy it?
Do I enjoy it? I think, like any job, it has its pros and its cons. There's, of course, loads of pros. The amazing opportunities you get. Like, I would not be able to publish this book if I was in the position that I'm in now, having a large platform. Things like that would never happen. I would never have been given the opportunity to write for The Independent. So there's definitely pros, but obviously there is a lot of cons when it comes down to mental health, people expecting certain things of you, people feeling like they know you. I feel like your identity is kind of like torn apart a little bit. You lose yourself a lot. So yeah, pros and cons.
Yeah. How does it compare to being a scientist?
It's completely different. It's completely different because I think with a professional job, you study so hard for it. The only cons that I could think of was having to wake up early. In the company I was working in, we'd had loads of cancer patients, and we had all their stories, and you would walk down the hall, even it was like, because I used to work night shifts, you'd walk down the hall 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, and you would see their faces, and you would smile, I would smile and walk past. So there's so many pros to it. I don't even know why I'm getting upset. I feel like I have, it's just been so emotional the last 2 weeks. But yeah, there's pros and cons.
Would you go back to being a scientist full time?
I think I would, yeah, definitely. Not now though. I like to think I'm youngish.
Yeah.
I like to think I'm youngish and I have so much time. I'd like to hope so.
Yeah.
I feel like I have so much time to do so much things that I just don't want to rush life.
Yeah.
I just want to take each day as it comes, and when it's the right time to go, it's the right time to go back. But yeah.
Yeah. And as a woman, a black woman in STEM, how did you kind of experience that through university and then a career? Because there are still so few women in general in STEM.
I did experience a lot of racism, which I thought, I don't know. You think it's, I think because I was always the only black person in a classroom, that you don't want to go to like racism first. You never want to say, oh my God, it's this, because I even remember when I was in university and one of my lecturers, who I sadly had for 3 years, would just never give me my marks. And I didn't know why, because I was always so studious, and I just didn't get why I wasn't doing well in his lectures. And I always thought it was me, but I think I got quite frustrated. And I went to his office and I said, oh, hi, I just don't agree with the marks that I was given. Can we review my paper together? And I remember everyone in my class thought I was crazy, but they expected it from me, because one day I did stand up and demand to teach the lecture. So
I love that.
I think they kind of expected it. I went and I said, no, I want to see my paper. And while we stood there for 5 minutes, I went up by like 25%. And I just thought, oh my God, like the rest of my papers. But then I thought, but why? Is it because you just thought I wasn't intelligent? Why was everyone else given the marks they deserved, and why was it not me? And it was always not me. And I felt like those are the kind of things that I had to contend with in university.
And so with this book, which is out super soon, what do you hope that people will take away from it?
I hope people can relate to it. I hope people can learn something, even if it's something small, a sentence, a paragraph. I hope they can take something from it that changes their outlook on life positively. I hope my experience, if anyone's feeling alone, they can feel like, we're all in this together. And maybe it would be great if someone could grow from it. Mm-hmm. That would be great.
Amazing. Well, it's been so great to chat to you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.